As a mom of two boys, I know how complex and rewarding the mother-son relationship can be. So what happens when the role of mother and teacher become one? Our next guest is sharing his very personal story growing up homeschooled. Best-selling author and former Plano resident Stefan Merrill Block is here to take us inside the pages. Good morning to you.
Thank you so much for having me. It's so nice to be back home.
It is back home, I know, and I would imagine that there remain some mixed feelings. You grew up in Plano. It was fun for me to read. This book is also a North Texas native, familiar with so many of these passages. You have written already 3 different novels translated into 10 languages. Your stories and essays have appeared on the New York Times, among other publications. What inspired you to decide to write a memoir?
You know, my mother passed away in the sort of the peak of the pandemic in 2020. When she died, I was in New York City. She was here in Texas. We were separated by all these miles, and it played out sort of over FaceTime. And I, you know, for years of my childhood, the years she was homeschooling me, it was just her and me. Mm-hmm. After she died, I had this feeling that if I didn't write down these memories, that it was almost like they were vanishing along with her. So it wasn't even a book at the beginning. It was just me trying to record what I could remember.
Mm-hmm. And I imagine it was also a therapeutic exercise for you, because that process was very difficult. And I want to delve a little deeper. You were young, of course, growing up in a homeschool environment. What about homeschooling? Why do you think your mother wanted to get you involved in this type of learning? At the time, it was pretty revolutionary. Now you were on the forefront.
I certainly was, yeah. I mean, homeschooling had just become fully legal in the state of Texas. You know, we had moved to Texas when I was 8. I think my mother felt a little unsettled. She had lost her career. Mm-hmm. She didn't really have much of a social world here. And I mean, I think what was really at the heart of it was this need to give shape to her days, which she found through homeschooling me. I mean, she had other educational motives that she would point to as well, but I think that's really what was at the heart of it, was for us to be able to spend our days together.
Yeah, it does sound like she had issues going on in her own life. Her growing up really led to this decision to really want to keep you. There were some things that I read that were really surprising. The efforts that she took, I think, to relive the years when you were a little boy, dyeing your hair, for example, to the color that she remembered when you were just an infant. And also some exercises that she required you doing, like crawling around the house, she believed would be a way to improve your handwriting. There was a lot going on during that time. And I want to read you one quote in particular that I read. You said, "I haven't been able to see Mom's true aim in keeping me here and with her all the time. If maybe Mom herself could never even name what she actually wants, which is to make me useless to the world so that I'll never be able to leave her." So do you believe that a lot of that motivation was so that you would remain her priority and her your priority?
Yes. I mean, I think there was a deep ambivalence for her and for me at the heart of this. I think on the one hand, of course she wanted me to flourish and she wanted me to learn and to become my own person. But there was also this deep, deep need in her to keep me close and to hold on to these precious years that she felt like had already passed when I was an infant. And yeah, she dyed my hair back to that color. I was crawling around the house at age 12. But really the hardest aspect of it was the isolation. You know, now that I'm a father to 2 kids, I see how much children need other children. It's like the way a plant needs sunshine. Right. And for most of these years, it was really just her and me.
Yeah, it really was just the 2 of you that were here. And at one point, you were bold enough, and it talks here about the struggle that you took, even approaching the subject. Mom, I want to go to school. It took you a long time to have the courage to actually tell her that that was really what you wanted to do and what your aim was. What was her reaction when you finally revealed to her, please, let me go back to school?
Well, she pleaded with me. She pleaded with me to stay at home with her. This was at the beginning of high school. At that point, it wasn't clear a homeschooler could get into college or the colleges I wanted to go to. So 9th grade was arriving, and I thought, if I don't take this bold step now, I might never get out. I did go back. It was a quite catastrophic return to society, and she was heartbroken and angry about it for a couple years at least.
You know, it was incredible to read these pages and how difficult that journey was for you. And one thing that I think you did talk about some of the issues that surfaced as a result of being homeschooled, but some things you really do credit being homeschooled to your success. You say, some rare days when the writing is going well, I can feel my homeschooling made this possible. It made me into a real life version of the boy from Nowheresville, a life spent conjuring loners to make me less lonely. So there were some positive aspects, and I think that's an important point.
And you know, I think there can be a lot of positive aspects to homeschooling, and this is one of the deep ironies of my experiences. I was desperate to be back out into the world, and I was so isolated, and yet all those years of being with books and trying to tell stories and using my imagination to escape into a bigger world turned me into a writer. And I love my life and my work.
Well, I congratulate you. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate you sharing your
Thank you
revelations
for reading
with
so
us.
closely.
Yeah, I do appreciate it. Thank you.